Hello, and welcome back. I'm Baron Battlebred, your guide through the streets and whispers of Regate. Gather round, you lost folk, as we spiral back into the Timebreakers, trying to rewrite history and change their fates.
Timebreakers.
When we last left off, the Timebreakers had collected a cleric. They had infiltrated the castle, and they spoke with the dead to see if there was any new information that they could glean from the would-be assassin whom they saved Harried Corvitash from. A Hanrid. That's an N, not an R. My bad. As they made their way around the castle, they noticed that there were no guards posted anywhere. And fearing the worst, they made their way to the prince's room, one of the few other contacts with whom they have not checked in with in a while. And unfortunately, they found the place trashed, with the prince's scepter sitting in the middle of the rubble. As they stand here, going over the information and discussing the situation, footsteps come running down the corridor towards them. All right, guys. What would you like to do?
Elise, do you hear that? Sounds like footsteps. Running down the corridor.
Yes, we'll need to get to cover.
Agreed.
Quick, there's no time. Elise will head to hang out of the window as an expert thief.
All right, you're going to head for the balcony then?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the position of the balcony itself, you can hang off the edge of it close, off to the side. The balcony itself is fairly large, but it is slatted, so you would have to hang off to the edge or make a jump for the roof. What would you like to do?
We'll just hang down. It's probably safer.
All right. If you're hanging down, go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics roll.
Dirty 20.
Nice. And I believe you have expertise in stealth, correct?
Correct.
All right. Then I will not make you roll for that currently. As for the rest of you, Shimmer and not Shimmer.
Shimmer and
Thaddeus.
Lindsay.
Yes, Shimmer, Lindsay, and Thaddeus.
Lindsay's gonna hide sort of behind the door. She has disadvantage and a -1 on stealth. She is not a stealth character. She managed to get a 13, though.
Okay.
I'm
I
just
will.
imagining like a bright red dress.
It's black. But she has heavy armor on.
Got it. So she's hiding behind the door.
And Shimmer is gonna have her hide somewhere, I guess. 17, maybe she's hiding under a desk or something, I don't know. Maybe in a closet.
Easy enough. Okay. Thaddeus, you are currently standing in the middle of the room. Your friends have dispersed to various corners in an attempt to hide. What would you like to do?
I think Thaddeus is going to...
Actually, Shimmer is in the closet. Sorry.
I think Thaddeus is going to set himself up so that way he's just looking like he belongs there. It worked before with the gnome. And he's not experienced with this sort of thing, so...
So you're not hiding. You
Nope.
are pretending you belong in here.
I'm pretending I'm there doing something, a work assignment or something like that. I'll look like I'm working on the leg of a table.
Okay. You are practicing your carpentry. Easy enough. The footsteps are getting closer. They are moving fast. They are loud. They are clanking. And something whizzes past the open door. Just runs right past it. And then you hear the footsteps stop and backpedal towards you. Sarah, you have run past your friends in a doorway. You see Thaddeus in this room working on a table?
You would not believe it. I think I finally figured out how to get a working jaw on my model.
Really?
Yes. Let me actually roll to see if this ends up good or bad.
Right. Sarah, do you have access to Tinker's tools?
No.
Okay. Then I need you to roll me a medicine or survival.
Medicine, go. 18. So it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. You excitedly run up to Thaddeus, who is currently working on this table in this trash room, and you explain to him the full working mechanism of the jaw, how you need the joint in the back there, how it rocks forward and locks into place, and how you can use, a wire or a rubber mechanism to pull it back up, yada, yada, yada. The rest of you in this area hear Sarah's voice. Would you like to come out of hiding?
Shimmer will, Lindsay won't.
Yeah, Elise will climb back onto the balcony and into the room.
Sarah, in your excitedness of talking to just Thaddeus, you don't notice your other friends climbing into the room from various corners.
Yeah, reappearing.
Lindsay, once Elise and Shimmer come back out of hiding, Lindsay will come out of hiding, actually.
They are all just there, and now standing behind you is a scary raven lady.
What are you doing here, robot?
I don't remember.
Don't you have some directives you follow? One of them led you here?
I mean,
Well, we were talking about coming to the castle, so Sarah may be in sleep mode, but she's never fully turned off.
my primary directive would be to guard and assist Thaddeus.
And you do an excellent job, Sarah.
As you guys are standing here congratulating Sarah on returning, you all hear a new set of footsteps coming down the hall. This time, many, many more of them.
Lindsay's gonna shut the door.
I was going to say it. Both me and Lindsay just going to shut the door. If you're going to do it gracefully, I'm not. So,
Lindsay, she's already by the door and she just closes it. Like, she was behind it,
that's fair.
so
I was
she's
gonna say,
totally
but
closed.
whereas you might, like, gently close the door, I was going to say I
Not
just
really.
keep it closed. Just, like,
It wasn't said, though.
completely ungracefully, loud as hell.
It was, she just, like, closed.
While they're messing with the door, Elise is going to very quickly look around for any kind of clues.
Okay. Roll me your investigation, and then what kind of clue are you looking for?
That's
Wow.
a 30.
Yeah, why don't you tell me what you're looking for so I can explain what you found?
So what we have is a room that has been broken into and ripped asunder.
Mhm.
Some things that Elise might be looking for is direction. She's looking for footprints. She's looking for damages. She's looking for anything that can either tell what happened here or where the culprit may have come from, where they went to, where the prince himself might be.
Got it.
Evidence of who the culprit is, maybe insignias.
Got it. As the door is slammed shut, and you hear the footsteps closing in, and you can hear the shouting of people like, I think it went this way, and oh, did you see the tiny robotic creature just running around the castle? And you hear many, many footsteps closing in. Elise, you look around quickly to deduce what you can before you guys have to either make a stand or make a run for it. The room is trashed, but it is trashed in a very odd way. It's not like somebody was looking for things in here, and it doesn't feel like somebody fought in here, at least not in a melee sense. Everything in the room seems to be shifted and twisted in a spiral pattern, like
Like a
I guess you
tornado.
would- yeah, like a tornado. In a magical sense, it feels almost like someone summoned a storm inside the space. There's no direct indication of where people may have gone, especially since both doors of the place were shut partially. I know the door that you came in, you had to open, so it was locked. But the doors to the balcony were opened in two different directions, one of them having been shattered by being opened in the wrong way.
Earlier, Lindsay did cast Detect Magic in here, which
Yes.
should still be up.
Yes, you're not sensing any magic in the area. Its magic was used in this area. It didn't leave lingering effects other than the shifted materials. And you do notice that at the epicenter of what would have been this storm, the scepter was lying right in the middle of it.
How curious.
The footsteps are getting closer. Some have run past, but the majority of them are still thundering down the hallway.
Everybody be very quiet.
It seems as though a cyclone had occurred within this room. This isn't a simple robbery.
You know, with a 30, I will give you one more piece of information here, based on your background of dealing with people and their magical effects. This feels like an elemental, an air elemental, popped into this room at some point.
It was an air elemental within this room. Cast everything asunder. But for what purpose? Strange.
The handle on the door jiggles. You guys have fought an air elemental before, correct?
Lindsay probably has. Everyone else, I don't think we have during this campaign.
You would know that if an air elemental popped into this room and used its whirlwind, then if a target, say the prince, who is likely not very strong based on what you saw of him previously, he would have been thrown, which could explain one of the doors being pushed open in the wrong direction.
Elise is going to look out the balcony to see what is below.
You go out to the balcony and you want to look down.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
19.
19. Having gone to the prince's quarters, you find yourself on the same side of the castle as Cavendish. Parvatash. As soon as somebody said that, I haven't let it go. of Corvatash's room. You look down, and the river is below you. The shipping lanes that lead out into the port.
Is it a jump that Elise could feasibly make to do like a wild dive into the shipping lanes, or is it like really far away? Like obviously, it's not a great jump, but like
it's not excessive. But I would say that with your current self, yeah, you could make the jump into the water from here. You'd cut it close, but you could make it.
Shimmer is going to use the ring of jumping on to cast jump on Elise. I don't know if that'll help, but
what's the plan?
Elise will turn to the others. I think if I follow into the river, I can possibly find our dear prince, wherever he may have gone. But I don't think this is a jump we can all make.
If he's in the river, then he's probably dead. If he was thrown by an air elemental into the river.
There's a chance he could have survived. And if nothing else, he probably has valuables on him.
You hear the door handle jiggle again, and this time a knocking on it, a pounding, really, as a voice outside goes, "Hey, who's in there?"
Not actually happening, but housekeeping?
Shimmer is going to call back out in the voice of the prince. Busy, leave us alone.
Is there a tiny robot creature in there with you?
No, I haven't seen such a creature. Go away.
The door handle stops jiggling, and the footsteps continue down the hallway.
I forgot she has the actor feat, and she's a changeling, so...
All right. The guards have moved on with little issue.
Lindsay would be like, I could go down there as well. See if there's a corpse in the river.
Yes, the two of us will chase down this lead. And the rest of you either find out more information here or head back to our current base of operations. Do you agree, Thaddeus?
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
Shimmer's gonna nod in agreement.
Elise is like stoically looking over the balcony, imagining the jump, preparing mentally for a fairly insane stunt.
Lindsay suddenly gains, like, wings.
Okay.
Yeah, they look like skeletal bat wings with, like, they're torn apart, holes in them. They, like, you can see bits of bone hanging off. They're kind of unsettling.
I like it.
Okay, so we got one flying and one jumping. Thaddeus,
I'm
Sarah.
gonna get... What? How heavy are you?
Elise is probably 180.
I'm gonna... Lindsay's gonna try and carry you. She failed to even pick you up. It was an 8. She has a +2 to strength, so I thought maybe.
Yeah, if she has a +2 to strength, she can carry a person.
Ignoring that roll, just with the +2, I'm allowed to carry Elise down.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that then.
Unless Elise wants to jump.
It makes sense to take the safest route, but she definitely wasn't considering being able to fly, as she doesn't normally fly.
Ah,
I don't think she realized that Lindsay's an Asmar.
I was kind of hoping you'd go for the jump. Okay, so Elise and Lindsay fly off the edge of the balcony.
It would be cool. Like it'd be a cool moment to have like one person flying and the other one just like leaping through the air.
I was imagining you, Elise, jumping and Lindsay catching her midair and then flying down, like a really cool dramatic moment.
Okay, how about this? If this roll goes poorly, then we can do that.
Okay.
I'll make the roll. Then if it goes badly, then
All right, give me,
Lindsay can recover it.
Give me athletics or acrobatics to make this jump.
26.
I feel like that did not go poorly.
It did not. And it's like a perfect dive, a leap into the air with just the right amount of thrust. Arms at first behind.
You do also have jump cast on you as well,
Nice.
so you can go even further.
It's like Elise is just flying through the air.
Yeah. Okay. You rolled really well. You have the jump spell cast on you. You're making this dive. You guys watch as Elise essentially soars off of the balcony, much higher than she may have anticipated. But it's perfect form up to the arc and just straight down into the river below. You have now landed in the water in the shipping lanes, Elise.
Her head pops up out of the water. She waves to let the others know she survives. And then she starts following the current.
Okay. The current is going to wash you down past the castle, past the beach that you guys previously used for your escape, and down towards the Coin Maiden's port. Lindsay will follow you from the air.
Yeah,
easy
she
enough.
is flying above.
And as that is going, roll me a perception check, and we'll see what you can see as you make your way downriver. Both of you, actually. I think we'll get away with that.
23.
Nice.
18.
Okay. And we will come back to that as you guys move downriver. Thaddeus, Shimmer, Sarah, you guys are now standing in the trashed prince's room. Guards are in the castle on the hunt for a metallic intruder. What would you guys like to do?
I think it's time we make a hasty retreat.
I got rid of the guards for now, but the front door might be a bad idea anyway.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Unless you can do your disguise mojo thing on my still
I can
defender.
just... Oh yeah, I can make her invisible.
Huh. Well, I guess we probably should just make Sarah invisible and walk out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna make both of you because you're wanted right now. We don't
We don't
and
know
we
what
don't
you're
want to deal with the
for.
guards.
Also, I find it funny how we're just going to make Sarah invisible and walk out while Elise and Lindsay did this epic
And that's your-
escape.
How many
They jump out the window and we walk out the front door.
yeah, do you want to be invisible too, Thaddeus?
No.
Okay, so just testing invisibility on just Sarah.
Okay. You cast invisibility on Sarah, and you guys are going to make your way to the front door of the castle?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're just gonna walk
Okay.
out.
Yeah. Easy enough. All of the guards have run off in the opposite direction, looking for the intruder. You guys make your way out. You haven't run into anybody again.
Well, at least the guards somewhat exist.
Yeah, that's true. It's very weird what's going on with this castle, although I don't really know much about castles, so.
Yeah, this very much isn't usual.
Also, don't know what's going on.
Just for the fun of it, Sarah, you are turned invisible. And as you open the door to leave the space, as you are turned invisible, that is, roll me a perception check.
My passing's higher than that.
It counts. I will take that. It is acceptable because as you turn invisible, what you see on the floor of the prince's room is a small rock that is illuminating itself. You now have a very shiny rock. But you guys make your way outside of the castle. No
Hear
problem.
something clang into my storage compartment as I'm walking out the door behind you.
Wouldn't clang much. There's still a bag of holding with a rotten head in there.
Yep.
All right. You guys are out on the city streets again. No problem. Invisibility lasts what, an hour?
It lasts concentration up to an hour, so I was just planning on dismissing it once we were far enough away from the castle.
Okay. Where are you guys headed?
Back to the rendezvous point, aka my house.
Got it. Elise and Lindsay are flying and swimming down towards the seaward as they make their way along the riverbank, looking for any sign of the prince who most likely was thrown out into the river from an attack by an air elemental. Despite their impressive rolls, there is no sign of the prince anywhere along these shores or the several small islands that you pass along the way. As you make your way around the bend of the port, towards where the piers are, there is a ladder that will let you climb out of the water and up, into the seaward without issue.
Yeah, at least we'll do that with kind of an attention towards silence. It's not that she's trying to be sneaky, it's that she is more accustomed to being quiet.
Lindsay will land next to her and be like, he might not have, his body might still be in the water. I have a friend who could go in the water if we need her to do that. Underwater. If we want to try that route.
I actually think Elise can cast Find Familiar for a seahorse.
Okay.
I've been meaning to do Find Familiar like the entire time I've had this character. Oh, it'd be cool. It'd be even cooler. An octopus.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 is better than 1, though. So, Lindsay is going to try and drag Elise off to the pirate ship.
She's going to try and carry her to the pirate ship?
Well,
she's
not
going to
carry
lead
her. Lead her.
Okay.
Okay.
So octopuses, yes, are a lot more fun, but octopuses are also attention whores who need water.
Yeah, we're going back in the water.
Yeah, the idea was that we would have the familiar search the bay for the prince's body.
Mhm.
As you guys are making your way down the port, through the piers to head towards the pirate ship, something catches your eye, Elise, as you are still, I'm gonna keep your perception roll here. You see a sailor coming off of a fishing vessel carrying a familiar fur-trimmed velvet robe.
She'll call out to them. Hello! Where, perchance, did you get that robe?
Us?
Yes,
This?
indeed.
We pulled it out the water.
Where?
He gestures vaguely. You How would I put this? He points in the direction of where the mouth of the shipping lanes comes into the bay, out towards more of a middle section. There. And he's like, it was out there, floating on the water.
10 gold pieces if you can take me to the exact spot.
10 gold to take you to where we found it?
Indeed.
Oh. I thought you might try and buy it from me. It'd be more than 10 gold for that. This is very fine material. Let's see. We just got in. Do we have to unload? Do we have to take it back? We can do that. Yeah, it'll be about an hour for us to unload the catch, but yeah, we can take you back out.
My ship will follow yours.
You want to take the pirate ship? Sorry, not the pirate ship. You want to take the merchant vessel?
Yes, Lindsay is
Follow
going. Yeah, Lindsay's going to be dragging Liam, Talon, and Allison into this as well as their ship.
Oh,
He's already about to drag Allison into this, so may as well drag Liam and his crew, the rest of the crew into it.
okay. So, I guess while you're waiting for that to happen, they'll probably listen to follow you.
They absolutely will. Like, they're ride or die. Or at least Liam, Allison, and Talon are. The crew are ride or die for Liam.
Yeah, so Elise is going to begin her cast of Find Familiar on an octopus familiar while she waits.
Got it.
Lindsay is getting Liam to have the ship prepared to set out.
Okay. While that is all being prepped, Sarah, Shimmer, Thaddeus, you guys are headed back to Thaddeus' house. About halfway there, Sarah becomes uninvisible, or becomes visible again. That's the word there. Yeah, visible. As they make their way along the road. You make your way back to Thaddeus' house. What are you guys up to down here? What's your plan? What's your goal?
Did you ever explain to Shimmer what? I don't think you did because Lindsay was present, so Shimmer needs to know what happened while she was off fetching Lindsay, and what the plan is going forward.
Thaddeus?
Yeah, I've got nothing.
Okay. Then I
Let's
will
just say that happened off camera.
I will just reiterate the situation in that when Shimmer went to go get Lindsay, when Shimmer went to go find a cleric and ended up finding Lindsay, the rest of the party went to go find the bearer of the ear that they had used to collect the reward. And they did, and they gained some information, and that the cultists that they are looking for meet somewhere in the sewers. And when Shimmer showed back up with Lindsay, they were in a minor argument over which entrance to the sewers they should be using, with Thaddeus saying we should just break open this tiny opening that I have in my house. And then it was suggested that essentially manhole cover out in the street could be used, or they could just make their way over to the shipping lanes and use one of the full-sized entrances or exits.
I like to imagine you just see Thaddeus kind of nodding to himself, like listening along to the voice in his head narrating everything that just happened.
Uh-huh. Roll me a wisdom save, Thaddeus.
Okay, I don't have dice in front of me, so if you could be so kind as to roll.
Sure. 23. Damn. All right. You lucked out this time. You feel a small twinge of pain in your head that disappears just as quickly. So you guys are in Thaddeus' house. You have about an hour. You wait around for about an hour, and Elise and Lindsay still have not returned. What would you like to do?
Okay, so if they're not returning or anything like that, I
We
don't
should
want to
have
go.
gotten a way to contact them. That would have been a good idea.
Well, it's funny because I'm an artificer who specializes in making sending stones, but I've never had an opportunity to give anybody a sending stone.
I can't tell if you're attempting to yell at me, the god of the universe, or at your teammates for never taking your items.
Yes.
You've never offered.
I was going to say, because you haven't made this attempt ever.
You can make sending stones, and you haven't?
Yeah, I can make sending stones. It's one of the few things that, I was working on at the NoTa company.
Ooh, maybe you should make some here.
Yes, let's make some sending stones.
Cool. You guys work on
Good
that.
idea.
And I'm going to jump back to Elise, who has finally summoned their familiar. All right, Elise, it has been about an hour. You have summoned a tiny fey octopus, or a medium fey octopus. How big is this octopus?
Let's see.
Ooh, that'll be fun. You know what? Roll me a D100 and then divide it by 2.
64. 32 is half of that.
Got it. This is a good-sized octopus. Like, its tentacles are probably as long as your arm. Its head is probably a little bit bigger than your own head.
Hello, little friends. We are going to try and find either the corpse or possibly the living body of the Crown Prince. Strog, how did you get here?
This is sound of little suckers clicking and popping as they move their way up you. So, Elise, and Lindsay. Are both of you taking the merchant vessel following the shipping vessel, the fishing vessel? Or at least are you getting on the fishing boat with Lindsay when the big boat following behind?
Elise will get on the fishing boat so that way she can talk to them.
Lindsay will also. Lindsay will be on the merchant vessel and keeping an eye on the ship, making sure that they know which ship they're following.
Okay. Both of you get on your respective ships, and you make your way out into the Bay of Regate. It takes probably half an hour for you to get from the pier in the port over to where you were designated by the fishermen. They get to the space. Do you have any questions along the way?
Did you all happen to see a body turn up when you found the robe?
No. We have seen no bodies in these waters today.
Did you find anything else unusual?
Just this fancy robe floating on the waves. It was a bit hard to pull up, but I figured, you expect it to be light, and then it is waterlogged, and clothes are surprisingly heavy when they are full of seawater, huh? Don't beg the question. It was floating. He just kind of stops and ponders on that, because, he doesn't really have an answer. Now that he says it out loud, that is a little weird.
It's not every day you find a valuable robe in the sea ward or in the bay.
But you managed to make it to the space. The fishing vessel drops anchor. The merchant vessel comes up beside you. Probably also drops anchor. And he says, "Well, this is it. Or roughly it. You know how it is. It's about right here."
Thank you.
Liam will give you a plank to cross over onto our ship if you want it, while Allison will jump into the water, and mid falling, she will turn into a seal.
All right, it seems it's your time to shine, dear octopus. And
Does he have a
for
name?
you,
What you'll find with Elise is she doesn't really name things that aren't people. She doesn't use non-human names, non-people
No
names.
attachment.
Right. There's a certain attachment. She approaches Sarah the same way, where it's not a person, therefore it's just a thing. So
By the way, before she jumped, Allison cast water breathing on you, just in case. She
All
also
right.
cast it on Liam, Talon, and Shimmer. Not Shimmer, Lindsay. Shimmer's not here. And probably a few random members of the crew. She can cast it up to 10 willing people within range.
nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, easy enough. It's not a concentration spell, so you don't have to worry about any of that. You just have water breathing for 24 hours.
Nice. So this is telepathically to the octopus.
all right, now find the prince's body. If he's in this area, scan around, look for it.
She doesn't want the vessel to know that they're looking for the prince.
Got it. Easy enough. After you pay the fishermen and then you get off the boat onto the other one, they're just gonna leave. They've done their job for the day.
Perfect. Yep, she pays them, gives them a coin, heads back over onto the merchant vessel.
All right. You send your octopus into the water. Go ahead and roll me a perception or investigation check using for your octopus. And you roll me one for Allison?
Yes.
Okay.
Perception. Okay. That was 19 plus 5. Got a good roll.
And your octopus, Elise?
Total of 13.
Okay. And with water breathing cast on yourself and 3 others? Is anybody else jumping in the water to add to this?
Not at the moment. At least with Lindsay, Liam, and Talon. They'll get in the water if called for it.
Okay.
And same with the other members of the crew that Allison casted on.
Okay.
I would imagine that Elise might get impatient, or at least she would be more aware of the passing time and then jump in sometime later to help search.
Yep. Speaking of the passing time, it is about 112 hours now until this situation happens. And your familiar is down for about half hour, another half hour, which brings us to 111 hours until the situation happens. How long would you wait before you jump in yourself?
Maybe half an hour.
Okay. So around this time, Elise starts getting impatient, kind of probably pacing the area, like waiting for somebody to come up, waiting for somebody to see something, just waiting for something to happen. But it doesn't. They're still down. Nobody has surfaced.
There is a rope ladder leading down for Allison to climb back up. So, and also a rowboat down there in case she does find the body to put the body in. But anyway, the ladder is most important, so you don't have to jump off the vessel if you don't want to. You can climb off it.
Who wouldn't want to jump off the vessel?
Right?
That's like the best part of being on the big boat is jumping off the side. Okay. So after about a half hour, with your familiar hasn't contacted you, the seal that you saw jump in has not resurfaced. At least you get impatient, and you decide to go in the water yourself. Are you climbing down the ladder or jumping off the side?
We'll jump off the side.
That's always fun.
And I think Elise has proven to be the type to jump from a high place.
You've also proven to be pretty good at just diving in general, so I'm not going to make you roll for this. You climb up onto the edge, and you jump over, and you dive down into the water. And you swim down, and you swim down, and you swim down some more. And this bay is a lot deeper than you expected it to be. It takes you a bit longer than you expected, but you find the bottom of the bay about 300 feet down in this area. And it is dark down here.
What do we find 300 feet down? The bottom?
You find the bottom of the bay, of this space in the bay. Since you're just coming out of a river, you wouldn't expect it to be so deep here, but it is. Roll me a perception check. Or investigation, depending on how you want to handle this. How would you go about searching the bottom of a bay, Elise?
Probably systematically.
Okay. With a 19. Excellent. So you start off on your search. Would you go the same way you saw your octopus swimming, or would you go opposite and try and meet up with them, say, in a grid pattern?
Opposite. Into a grid.
You make your way along, searching the ground out here. You swim along, and you swim along, making your turn, making your measurements every couple of feet, searching a surprisingly large area. And along the way, about halfway through what you marked out in your mind for your grid, you see a decent-sized fey octopus dragging something along the ocean floor. Like, it's using maybe 4 of its tentacles to crawl along, and then it's using the other 4. It's holding on to something and dragging it behind it, and it's making its way towards you.
What does it look like? Does it look like a corpse?
It does not look like a corpse. It's small enough that it's being blocked by the silt of being dragged along, but it's also, in that sense, small enough that the octopus is able to pull it.
Yeah, at least we'll catch up and examine whatever it is that's being pulled.
You make your way to your familiar, and you reach your hand out to find what it is that it's holding. And as its tentacles come around, do you grab the item?
Not
to investigate it, or
yeah, like you always look before you grab.
Well, I mean, I've seen some people not do that at all. But what you find is your familiar is holding an arm, the fingers covered in glittering jeweled rings.
Hey, you
Yeah,
found part of him.
Yeah. Where did you find this part of the body? Was there more there?
Can communicate telepathically.
The octopus can talk to you?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Then the octopus he's going to say,
Please be a hillbilly ass redneck.
fucking hell. All right. Let me see if I can pick up that accent. 1 second.
Or, well, it says I can communicate with it telepathically. I wonder if... Nah, okay. Maybe it can't communicate back telepathically.
No?
No, it's a gray area. It says you can communicate with it telepathically. Is that a two-way communication or is that a one-way communication? That's up to you, I think.
I'm just going to let it happen. But the octopus is going to say, I found this at the bottom of the floor next to a large cave. This is all there was.
Which would really translate to, hey man, I found this at the bottom of the floor next to the cave.
Hey, go down over that way, turn left by the shark pod, and find some weird
Yeah, you go down over that way,
usually
turn
like to
left
hang
at the
out
shark pod,
around.
you're gonna
It's a
get
pretty
there
nice
right there.
spot.
Be the perfect spot, man.
Well, I'm in no hurry to climb into unknown caves. Chances are that is the home of the more murky denizens. I'll bring this up to our friend Lindsay. See what she thinks.
Okay.
And Elise is going to swim up to the surface
Are you going to take the arm with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
in her hands, if that matters.
It's cool. I just wanted to know if you were taking the arm with you or just taking the information with you.
On the upside, when you find the rest of him, you know he's not going to be a threat because he's been disarmed.
So, yeah, at least you swim back up. You break the surface of the water, holding an arm.
There is a rowboat you can put the arm in.
There's a certain trash bag of holding you can put the arm in.
You have the trash bag of holding it, not we don't.
Yeah, you're not there.
Yeah, we're not there.
So we do have a corpse bag of holding, to be fair.
You nerds. But we are actually going to end the session there today. We have gone quite a bit over time.
I love that we have a bag of holding dedicated to a severed head that I grabbed, and now supposedly we have a separate bag of holding dedicated to the corpse of the assassin.
Yep. Well, actually, it's just there's other corpses in there, not just the assassin. If that helps.
That's even better.
So that's all for now, but when we return next episode, I'm sure the Timebreakers will continue to impress us.
Timebreakers.
You can come join the Discord, link is in the description, and help us build the city from the inside. Maybe explain to them that carrying around all these corpses is not a good idea.
And severed limbs.
And severed limbs. You can leave a rating, leave a review, and tell us how you really feel. Thanks for listening.